Hello, RIGT Network. My name is P2 Kuru, and we are back with the second part of the three-part tutorial series. And this part, we will be covering club selections. So, last part we covered basic rules. We kind of went over, what to do when you're faced with certain rulings and the bunkers because you no longer get relief from those. Trees as well, you don't get relief. So, basically just how to stay away from hazards and how to get the proper rulings from them and what happens if you hit it in each. And this time for club selections, we are at the host of the 2024 RG Open and the 2025 Ryder Cup in the future Oneonta National Golf Course. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to run us through a round real quick. And I'm just going to have you guys watch here and we're going to find out, what do I do in certain situations when I need to select the club? What do I base the club selection off of? And how do I think when selecting the right power for a tee shot or an approach shot or any type of shot? So every hole, you want to make sure you get a good look at the tee shot. So the first hole here, you can see all that cluster of bunkers here. So from here, it's really harder. It's a lot harder to see it. So I see that there's a pretty good open slot right here, and there's nothing really ahead of it. So I should be good to just hit driver. We all make mistakes. Hit driver right on past it. See? Nothing in the way here, so I have a very clear second shot. Alright, so for the second shot here, you can see there's a bunker short, and nothing long really, nothing left, bunker right. So what I'm thinking here is we have a lot of room to miss long without going in the bunkers. So if I'm going to make a club selection, I want to make sure that it goes long. So from this distance, I'm thinking gap wedge. And whenever you select a club, try and keep in mind the relative distance to the flag because you're going to want to be able to base other shots later in your round off of this distance. So distance is relative to how far and like the hazards you're facing. So since there's a bunker here, I definitely want to make sure I try and carry that. And oh yeah, I forgot. I gotta teach you guys how to aim properly. So for the way I aim, there's a lot of different ways you can, but the way I aim is I try and line up the right side of the golf ball or my arm with the golf ball. So it's like that. And then I take my shift lock cursor here and that little top notch you see that is just about right in the middle of the screen. I try and line that up with the flag. So the flag is right in the middle of the circle and then I just select the club I want to hit. And oh, a little short there, but ended up right on line with the flag whenever it was flying in the air. Alright, so now green side club selection. This can be very interesting because we are on turtleback greens. So just for an example here, if I try and hit medium putter, it's going to come right back to me because it's sloped. So what I try and think of when facing turtleback greens is how do I get the ball up the slope and how do I kind of get it to stay. So this distance right here is a little too close for a lob wedge, I think. So I'm just going to use a long putter and just run it up there. Just missed, didn't play the break there. I will go over that later, but that was a good club selection, and you cannot be mad with a par on this course. So let's head to the next. Alright, I've skipped to the third hole here, and now we are going to talk about club powers. So in my hotbar here, I've arranged the clubs here by power. So the drivers being the most powerful, irons second, wedges, and then putters. So right here we have the driver. If we press E to get a weaker club, we have 3 wood, 5 wood, and then finally 7 wood. And then if we go to irons, 3 iron, and common question I get is 7 wood more powerful or is 3 iron? And the woods are always going to be more powerful than the irons. So the 3 iron right here would be the next weakest club behind the 7 wood. So it would go like driver, 3 wood, 5 wood, 7 wood, then 3 iron, 4 iron, 5 iron, and so on. So Now, let's get back into it. And to aim, we're just going to make sure our right arm is right over the golf ball, and then shift lock where we want to aim. And then you can go back, select your club, and hit. And look at that, right in the middle of the fairway. So now, what I notice here is that this is a very long second shot relative to what clubs I normally hit. So I am just going to try a 3-wood here, and I'm going to take note, okay, did this go long or did it go short? So 3-wood, perfect power. So that was a great club selection. Can't be mad with a birdie here. So yeah, great birdie there. Alright, now we're on the 4th hole. So let's just have a whack at it. So step over the ball, right arm over the ball, shift lock where we want to aim, and select the club. That's how you aim pretty much. That's how I aim. And I think it's the best way you can. So this distance here looks like a longer iron to me. So I'm just going to take a 5-iron. I do not want to miss long here because of those bunkers. They are very hard. We'll talk more about where not to miss in the course strategy video, but oops, I've missed long. So green side here, I'm going to want to take a lob wedge because do not want to miss long here. And let's just aim it slightly left of the hole and let the slope take it down into the hole. Nah, barely missed, but I will gladly take a par. So pretty good club selections on that hole. And yeah. Alright, so here's the 5th hole, and sometimes you're going to have tee shots where you're going to be stopped by an obstacle. You can thread that needle, but I'm just going to say I have no chance of getting it past for this sake. So you want to take less than driver. So driver, you're going to want to hit driver on 90% of golf holes at most courses on par 4s, par 5s, because you want to get as far down there as possible. The only time you don't hit driver is when you have something in its distance or in its way. So I'm just going to hit a 7-wood here. And yeah, not going to get lipped. It's going to be in the bunker, but if I hit 5-wood or 3-wood there, that could be lipped. And I do not want that. So this, first thing I notice, this right here looks kind of like the same distance as my 3-wood on hole 3. So I'm going to take note of that, and seeing that the distance looks similar, I'm going to hit a 3-wood. And yeah, that wasn't bad, just pretty tough angle there. So right here, do not want to miss long, but this kind of looks like sand wedge distance, so I'm going to take a risk and go for the birdie here. Dang, and that's what happens. And we're into one of these pop bunkers, so not the greatest shot here, but since we don't want to miss short, I'm just going to take a sand wedge and just make sure I get it out there. Still went too far. See, these turtleback greens can be incredibly tough to maneuver around. You kind of have to play them very strategically, but there we go. In for bogey. Great club selection there. Alright, here we are on the 6th hole. And we're going to take a driver off the tee because that's what we want to do most of the time. And we're going to put our arm over the ball. We're going to shift lock, select our aiming point, and hit. Most basic, easy way of aiming. And once you get more used to it, you can kind of do it like that, kind of just free flowing. It gets a lot easier to aim in quickly. So right here, this is going to be a great point I'm going to talk about real quick. On turtleback greens, you see how this right here is slanted to the left relative to my attack angle. So this means that the ball is going to go left off of this slope right here. So I want to aim right of this pin, but still in the greens area. So I'm going to aim about right there, and that should be good. Oh, it hit the bunker. I'm going to try that again real quick. Alright, we're trying that again because I kind of missed the aim spot a little, but let's give you a good example here. Now you see how that went left? Not the best bounce there, but it did go left. And this one as well. So if you draw a straight line from this is the better method of thinking about it. If you draw a straight line from your ball to the pin, you see how these are not parallel? Whatever direction there's more distance between, that's the way it's going to go. So this one is going to go very slightly left. So I'm just going to play it just outside the edge. Wrong club there. I'm very used to my old setup instead of this new one for your sake, but look at that, went left. So that's the easiest way of reading slopes, if you ask me. Alright, here we are, 7th hole at Oneonta. So we're just going to hit good old driver. We're going to aim a little right here. See if we can get up. Yeah. Let's just say we went down in here. Actually, let's put our ball up here. This should be a more fun putt. So on putts like this where, you know, it seems flat, you really have to check the slope on turtlebacks. So if you come down here, you can kind of see how this is lower than this. So this is going to be a downhill putt. And if you take a look at it, this is actually sloping down to the left here. So you can see how this is all running down towards the pin. And using the straight line strategy, we get that straight line, and you can kind of see how, okay, right here's a better example. All of it's falling down to the left. You can't really see it on green as much as you can off of the green, but this is sloping. It's running parallel like this, and that's not parallel. So it's going to go left. It's the best way I can explain it. So we're just going to aim out here and hit a medium putter. It's really the best we can do. So it should be a par. Yep. So that's a more complex break there. You'll see that more on Northern Pines, but still. Alright, here's a great example of tee shots under pressure. So this is the tightest tee shot on the course. You have about a 5 stud gap right there. So on tee shots like these, you really want to make sure your aim is right. So if you happen to not see the gap, you can jump up and down and check if the center of your shift lock is aligned with it. So this looks good, so I'm going to hit it. And yep, you can see how that went right where I was aimed. So that just shows you how this aiming method is pretty effective. So this one looks somewhat earlier to the one I hit on hole number 4, that 6-iron, but I hit it long last time, so I'm gonna, or I hit a 5-iron on hole 4, so I'm gonna hit a 6-iron here, and this should be a decent club. Just a little short, but we can't really hit them all on the exact distance, especially on turtleback greens. They are a lot harder. So this one kind of looks like a sand wedge. Sand wedge might be a little too far, but we'll try and make it. Oh yeah, look at that. Nice birdie there. Great club selection and good aim. All the things I'm talking about, so gladly take that. Alright, last part of club selection, or last hole I'm going to do is hole 9 here. Par 5s. We're just going to whack our driver down there. Almost hitting the bunker. Got a little careless with it. And we can kind of just whack another driver into all this gunk down here. So one thing here is club selection. You can see how there's a back slope here. So the ball is going to roll off of this. So if you have a big enough one of these, you can actually play for it. So I think here I would normally hit an 8-iron, but I'm going to try a 7 and see if I can get that ball to work off that back slope. Just a little too much. I'm going to see if I can get a better example for you guys. See if this works. Almost. It's kind of tough getting the right distance, especially with how tiny that backstop is, but almost. But you get the point. So let's say we miss long here. And what do we do here? So first thing I'm looking at is this slope is pretty big, so long putter might be a weird option here. because I just want to take out all that break because straight line test here, you can see there's more room between the right. So it's going to go right, and the steeper it is, the harder it is to putt up it. So I am just going to take a lob wedge here, and if I do the straight line test again, you can see this slope right here is going to take my ball left. So I'm going to play for it to bounce off that slope, and I'm just going to aim a fraction right. See, it did not bounce off the slope there, but honestly, a par here is not too bad, so I will take that. So another thing I do want to talk about for club selection is downhill putts, like these right here. Let's get a straighter one. So right here, what I would do is probably just hit a short putter and let the slope take it, but I'm pretty sure if you want to, you can actually hit a medium putter. Just ram it in the back of the hole here. Yeah, so you can see how there's multiple options there to do this same thing. And that's what I like about turtleback greens. There's multiple ways to do the exact same thing. So let's try and get that backslope example working here. Let's get a little closer and just right at it. If we ground ball here, it should be good. Yeah, look, you can see how it comes back towards the pin. Let's try and get the best example we can. It's kind of hard. There we go. That one wasn't too good, but it's a very hard thing to get. But whenever you do, it can be pretty cool at ground ball. But so I think I kind of covered everything with club selection. My main topic for club selection on approach shots, try and base it off of what you've seen before. So like if you have like a shot like this, earlier in the round you think, I had a shot that looks like this exact same distance. Let me try and hit the same club. And that time maybe you hit an 8 iron. And so that was a decent distance, just a little too far. And if you miss long of the screen, it's not too good. And then maybe you think, I had a chip from earlier in this round that was this exact same distance. I'm just gonna hit a lob wedge. And if that ain't ground ball, that could have been in. But you get the point. Try and base your club selections based off like your memory, maybe some landmarks. I mean, if you're a certain like distance out, like in 3 different rounds, like you'll know that that club goes to that part of the green from that spot. So just try and use like I said, just past experiences to judge your club selection. So like from here, let's say I hit a long putter, and oh no, it ends up short. So if I come back here, if I have this exact same distance later in a round, I'm thinking, maybe I hit sand wedge. Maybe that might get to the hole. And look at that, it does. So, that's my point. So just try and base your club selection based off of what you've seen and done before. So, I think that'll wrap it up for me. Part 2, club selection, arguably the most important of any topic in the game, because if your club selection is good, you're going to play well because you're going to leave the ball hole high, you're going to leave yourself easier putts. So if you're going to practice anything, practice your field, your like depth perception, practice your club selection. That's how you get better. So anyways, that will be all for now. So I hope you enjoyed, hope you finished watching till the end because I tried to give out some pretty useful stuff here. And if you want more content like this, then subscribe. And we will be dropping the next episode tomorrow. So 3 days, 3 videos on tutorials on how to get better. So I hope you new players will find this advantageous. So thank you for watching, and I will see y'all later. Peace out.